Good afternoon. It's a real pleasure for me to be here today. I really thank our beneficiary, our partner, AREPO, for organizing, and of course to the Committee of the Regions for allowing us to celebrate this session here in this very nice environment. As I said, it's a real pleasure for me to have the opportunity to share with you the results of our project that is almost finishing. During 4 years, we have been analyzing the role of value chains. You can see here our project is really focused on the role of value chains, mountain value chains, and how they can contribute to the sustainability and resilience of mountain areas. And also our project Moving was part of a call that was asking to identify which are the new generation of policies for rural areas. So we hope to deliver something that is useful for the future of these territories. I name my presentation as an amazing 4-year journey, and I would like to share with you what we have been doing during these years. Our main objective was is to build capacities and co-develop relevant policy frameworks across Europe for the establishment of new or upgraded, upscaled value chains that might contribute to the sustainability and the resilience of mountain areas, always working with a bottom-up and participatory approach and engaging the value chain actors, stakeholders, and policymakers. Our point of departure is that we don't valorize enough the mountains in Europe. We don't give enough attention to the fact that mountains are the ecological backbone of Europe, because 1/3 of the territory are mountainous areas. They concentrate most of the hotspot of biodiversity, the most important ones. They provide essential ecosystem services. Very important, they are our water reservoirs. But they are also important from a socioeconomic point of view, because there's a lot of local economy based on natural resources in mountain areas, like agriculture, forests, food processing, or tourism. But also 18% of the European farms are considered mountain farms, so that also gives us an idea of their importance. And they are providing a good number of private and public goods and services. So what we have is a high diversity of contexts and development levels in the European mountains, but we don't have much data at a local level. When we zoom in, we don't have much data. We have a lot of local knowledge, but we need to valorize this stakeholder local knowledge and also understand their perceptions and expectations. We need to move beyond a one-size-fits-all approach and tailor solutions for a specific context. And also we need to harness the unique aspects of mountain areas in our policymaking approach. We have been working in 23 mountain regions all over Europe, not only EU. You can see how our regions are distributed. And as I said, we have been doing research and involving local people in this project for almost 4 years. First thing we did was to create a theoretical and conceptual framework that understand mountain areas as social and ecological systems, and at the same time integrate value chains in this framework. Then we did an inventory of different value chains in European mountains, and we have provided more than 450 different value chains in our inventory. Next step was to do a participatory analysis of the vulnerabilities of the land use and the use of natural resources in our mountain areas. Then we identified the focal value chains in each of our regions and have done an in-depth analysis, and after a cross comparison and benchmarking of the different value chains, how they are managed, how they work. And finally, a multi-level foresight, also participatory. So we move from value chains diversity to value chains analysis, to value chains potential, and also to envisage the future perspective. With the idea of providing, at the end of the project, by the way, I invited you all to come to our final policy conference that will be here in Brussels on the 13th and 14th of June, where we'll be presenting this policy analysis and roadmap. And just as a general umbrella, we had created a community of practice involving more than 1,000 people. So some results, I will go quickly on that, but just to give you a snapshot. We created these multi-actor platforms, and more than 1,000 stakeholders have been involved. We created what we call one multi-actor platform in each of the 23 regions, and also one European-level multi-actor platform. But we have also tried to involve youngsters to know their views, because they are the future of these territories. So more than 500 youngsters have been working with us in workshops in the project. We created this framework, as I said, integrating the social and the natural part of the mountains with the value chain analysis. We have identified, together with the stakeholders, what were the most important drivers of vulnerability in mountain areas, and we rank these drivers. And the most relevant drivers were linked to climate change, like changes in precipitation, temperatures, new pests or invasive species, extreme events, but also very important the demographic changes under the population. We also analyzed different value chains in order to identify their contributions to sustainability and resilience. We found that there's not a value chain. What happens in mountain areas, there are an assemblage of value chains, and normally when they are able to create synergies and to work together, the impact is higher. And also the impact is higher when value chains are controlled by local actors, what unfortunately not always happened. We have found that more and more external actors are grabbing the high-quality products or the image of the territory or their quality and the expectation of the population, and then in this way they do not bring value to the territory. We have also identified different upgrading strategies that can improve these value chains and understood what is the role of knowledge-based and social learning in mountain areas. And we can say that in our results, value chains had a high societal value to the mountains, not only economic, and also that the value chains connect mountain areas with lowlands, but also with the world. The value chains are those that permit to bring the mountain products to the consumers that could be closer or even very far away. And also, we did benchmarking and clustering of mountain value chains, and we identified 5 important clusters, dealing each of them with important issues for our areas. One was dealing with demographic and social aspects, another one with innovation and infrastructure, another with territoriality, cooperation and governance, another on nature and ecosystem services, and finally another one about value and quality products. I will focus on this one in a while. Then, as I said, we have done a foresight analysis, doing 22 local foresight analyses, with each of them with 4 scenarios. And also we have done a cluster scenario analysis and a pan-European scenario analysis. With all this, we try to analyze what are the vision for 2050. And we are working in the policy roadmap. Okay, what are the main results of the analysis of the value and quality products cluster? As you can imagine, we have dealt with PDO or other quality schemes, with cultural heritage, food quality, traditional production, local knowledge, breeding varieties, and also with consumer preferences. In this cluster, we had the 7 mountain regions and the 7 value chains that you can see in this map. And the main challenges that we identify in the valorization and quality of products are, one very important is communication, both to consumers, for them to understand the real value of these public goods and quality schemes, to make them understand that their choices when they buy or not a product have an impact in their territories, that they are not just buying products, but they are also buying territory and the associated sustainability of this territory, and that should translate into fair prices. But also it's important to communicate producers the benefit of participation in quality systems. We found unfair competition with non-certified products that are using the image and the territorial identity of these products. We found bureaucratic burden and cost of certification for producers, different issues linked with the governance and the power distribution along the value chains, and also that one products are very popular and very demanded, that create a pressure for intensification in these territories that is not always good for the mountain areas because they have a limited production capacity. But we also have solutions, right? Like involve local authorities, advisors, researchers, and civil society in this valorization of products, the continuous participatory and dynamic development of quality scheme standards, the possibility of combine different quality schemes and also interact with other territorial regulatory tools like natural protected areas, the need to reduce bureaucratic burden and costs, especially for small-scale producers, to use innovative methodologies for collective participatory of-group certification, enhanced participatory warranty system, or, very important, communication campaigns to highlight the values of quality production. And also some policy recommendations, like developing supportive legal frameworks for local producers, implement multi-fund approaches, define more strictly the area of production that can be considered as mountain areas, create synergies between different territorial levels, testing combination of quality schemes and also with territory regulatory tools, especially for small-scale producers, provide more support, institutional and technical, and funds for continuous participatory and dynamic development of quality scheme standards, and also to revise the rules to fund promotion campaigns of quality products to allow small-scale local campaigns that have bigger impact in our territories. So that's all what I want to say. Yes, I will close with some key messages that we would like to be the legacy of our project. First is that territorial mountain diversity is a real crucial asset of Europe, that in our project we are listening and amplifying the voices of more than 1,000 mountain stakeholders working differently. That is the normal procedure. Normally, scientists come and validate local knowledge. We are doing the opposite. We present a scientific result to our stakeholders, and they validate what makes sense for them, what is useful in their cases, all right? We combine short and long-term perspective, analyze now situation and then the future, and we are going beyond case-by-case approach, but without losing the uniqueness of our territories. Also, we need more granular data and multi-level support in our territories. And we need to move from this idea of mountain areas, areas with natural constraints, which is a negative definition. We define as something that has problems. So move from that to the unique traits that create opportunities, change the policy attention from compensation for, let's say, this limitation to a mixed policy effort that recognize contribution, and definitely unlock the power of mountain value chains. Okay, that's all from my side. Thank you very much for your attention, and I hope I didn't overpass my time.